Moving on, Ogwen. Leading the Naiads into the Gwent and into the Scoia'tael. So we got 3 Naiads who are Dryads as well. So Naiad is only secondary category. Your chameleons won't be showing that, and it doesn't really help you much with the harmony decks. And then we got a nature card that spawns frogs. Frogs helping you with getting your vitality points faster. Sadly, they were not brought on those screens. There is definitely space here for a short preview of the card, but unfortunate. So yeah, we got the Ogwen. We've seen it in action. If you haven't seen it, go check the reveal out. It might have a couple of surprises for ya. If you were the person who just looked at the end of the day at the screenshots. But yeah, Naiads are here. Naiads are getting infused with the nature category if you play Ogwen. And that means that when you play Naiad Pond Keeper or Naiad Fledgling from hand, when it was infused, if you are playing it with the Symbiosis units, it will trigger your Symbiosis, spawning the more potent Wandering Treant. Also, Ogwen gives vitality equal to number of Dryads you control when you spawn Treants. So Ogwen herself, when dropped onto the board, creates a Treant immediately. If you're playing it in the Symbiosis deck, Nature's Gift, it gives it becomes a 2-power Treant, so Ogwen lands as a 5. Treant is 2 power and gets vitality 1 from Ogwen herself, so it's 8 for 13. But now all the Naiads you play from your hand, and there are like 4 of them, it's not like a lot of other cards get in Naiad category, because that won't be lore friendly. It still makes things interesting, especially because of the Forest Protector. Forest Protector reads as play a nature card from your deck, doesn't specify nature special card. Maybe the change is incoming. If not, you can get a unit, Uterine unit from deck with 4th, and you can get Forest Protector into a unit from the graveyard, which is interesting. 9 provisions, Frog is too high. Ogwen is good for round 2, Bleed. Yeah, there is a slight problem of overswarming in Symbiosis here and there. Frog's mating season, creating 5 units in one go is a lot. Ogwen activating all your Dryads as nature cards means that every bronze you play, a Bronze Knight you play in round 3, will be creating extra Treant. It might be problematic, it might be an issue, but as we know, Nature's Gift quite often played a long round 2 as if it was a long round 3 anyway. The deck doesn't have that many options, didn't have that many options for controlling stuff, so if you expect your opponent to play some funky greedy stuff, you were always bleeding. Now, is Overswarm a real issue? It is if you're not winning round 1, an opponent takes you into long round 3, but the amount of sheer amount of points you have is also scary, so it's hard to really predict how many points will it put out versus the other decks. Need to test it first. But there is a concern for 9 provision card to be not worth it. Oakwen seems good. Sometimes you have 8 and not many natures. Yeah, and it makes the bronze 5 revision cards with deploy do something. We're gonna look at the cards in a second. Dryad, Vetad, yeah, those are exactly those. Water nymphs. So yeah, frog mating season, as I said, creates your frogs, and frogs decrease your unit's vitality and give it and transfer it into the points. So consider you gave 2 units vitality 4. 3 out of those 4 vitality get transferred into points immediately, because you have frog on each side of the unit triggering it, and the natural vitality that triggers at the end of your turn is also there. And then you start playing your nature caresses, leader charges, etc, etc. A curious design, not something I expected, not even going off the card's name and meaning, just by mechanically. Cute design, not gonna lie. Hope it works. There is the, guys, you mentioned the prism pendant. People gave it a shot, it felt subpar, deservedly so. Not even like memeing about 0 tempo play. It still felt a bit slow. Now it has a faster payoff with this, but then like it's still a bit awkward. You need your frogs to survive. You need to continue growing your units near the frogs. If it's not the initial unit you gave 4 vitality with frog mating season, that means that the frogs are separated now, and only 1 vitality gets transferred into points. 1 second, I need water. Okay, so that's the frog mating season. Next, Night Pond Keeper. Pond Keeper is a deploy unit. On melee, it chooses a Wandering Treant, damages enemy by its power, resetting Treant to 1 power. So a couple of issues with that is that sometimes you need to kill opponent's 4 power unit, and you either have a low Wandering Treant, like a 2 power, or you have a 7 powered Treant because you gave it vitality or something, or you played Rebuke and it got buffed. It doesn't have a step. It literally resets all of it and transfers it into the damage, so you might play it for the negative. But if you don't want to play her melee, there is a ranged option that infuses a non-symbiosis allied unit with symbiosis, making it another engine. Is it a broken card? I don't think so, because of the Wandering Treant interaction. You don't really transfer, like gain anything by damaging. You don't net the points. You transfer like 4 points from your Wandering. In ideal situation, like killing 4 power engine on opponent's side of the board by targeting 5 power Wandering Treant. Ah wait, nah. Sorry, yeah, that we talked about in Mercer's stream. You're actually damaged by 5, but reset to 4. So your total gain is 1 point if you are doing the exact damage. Like if you are killing 5-point engine using 5.3 end, you deal 5 damage, but you are resetting to 1 power, so it's a 6 tempo play. So yeah, sorry, got that forgot about that detail. But it was damaged by the power of 3 and not by the reset amount. The question remains, is it worth it to run them? Of course, if you want to run Oakwen, it makes sense to run both bronzes, all of them, because there are no new Naiads coming. I wouldn't believe any of the Dryads we have in the game now are fitting, because, well, they're literally growth keepers and just Dryad fledglings. Hi, Mark. And then, yeah, Naiad fledgling is the last one, another 5p card. Not full provision, so might be problematic including them, considering you want to play Hamadryads in the deck. Whenever your Symbiosis is triggered, give the unit to the left Vitality 2. On order, removes all Vitality from a light unit, then boosts self by the same amount. So ideally, you get that one unit on the left that is getting Vitality, and then you give it more vitality and click Naiad Fledgling. But in reality, it sounds like something to like synergize with Prism Pendant. So, how many times do you trigger Symbiosis? Quite a few times, considering it should be a nature card itself. It should play for decent points. Do you not play any good golds then and just play the Naiads, bronzes? Because that's what Symbiosis kinda was doing. Play the Rebukes and like Fourth into a tutor, just getting mad points on them nature Symbiosis procs. And now those will be nature cards themselves. Probably worth it, worth trying it during the first week of the expansion for sure. I think they play Knights with Forward Protect. I hope it works. Like, they mentioned it here and there, Lionheart mentioned it, but we also didn't really have any infusions in the graveyard, and when the cards go into graveyard, they of course lose it. So setting it up will be a task on its own, because you need to play Oakwen in round 2 then, when you play to some Naiad in round 1 already for it to go into the graveyard. So that's definitely not easy to achieve. Or you need your opponent to kill your Pond Keeper, but Pond Keeper on its own doesn't really pose any threat. At least Naiad Fledgling is a threat of like profiting from the vitality on one of the units that gain too many ticks. So I'm not entirely sure how you're sequencing it so that your Forest Protector Oakwen is working. You push round 2 with Oakwen and those, and then in round 3 you play Forest Protector. But you might as well 2-0 then instead and use your Forest Protector. But yeah, those are Scoia'tael. I haven't been a big fan of the previous symbiosis on its peak. Hopefully this is more fun. Forest Protector getting more options is, well, definitely exciting. Frog mating season. I'm not sure how to utilize it in the best way possible. 9 provisions, frogs.